and is constructive. But that's all I'm asking people, stop in their tracks and think, hang on, step back. Don't spend your life and then end up, at the end of your life looking back thinking why or why or why. Yeah. Whatever stage you're at in life, it's always good to stop and think, hang on, let me look at the bigger picture.
That's how most people operate, and there's a lot of research to show this, that most people, they let the present dictate the future. Rather than doing that, you want your seemingly impossible, very intrinsically motivating future self to dictate what you start mirroring into your life right now, and then you want to actively look for the ways, the people, the situations, even in yourself, you want to start seeing, oh my goodness, these are all massive evidences for the future that I want. And you can know very profoundly, very powerfully, that you're gonna be your future self when you start seeing things happening in your life, both in yourself, the things you're doing, the things you're taking, but also the opportunities that you're presenting, and very powerfully, the things that you're now filtering out. There were things in your newsfeed that you used to see a lot of, people used to see a lot of, but now you don't see them. Now you don't see them anymore. They're no longer a part of your life because you've actively filtered them out. They're no longer a part of your life. They're no longer a part of what you're attracting in. They're no longer a part of the creation of what you're doing.
As opposed to expecting that life, instead of a game, is a vacation with a Mai Tai on a beach chair somewhere, which I think is what a lot of us expect. Like, it should be easy. I should have this. It's not fair that this happened. It's like, why do we think that we want life without some villains in it and without some worthwhile adversaries? There's no David without Goliath. And so you need those enemies and adversaries because they're how you level up. How boring of a game would it be if we were just handed the prize as soon as we walked on stage? What are we going to do with the rest of our time? And so I've really tried to program my mind over the years and to learn from people who look at problems and they're like, oh, this is juicy. What are we going to do about that? How do you think? Okay, let's get curious. Like, do we use the lightsaber? Do we use the laser gun? And if you can do that with business too, then I think this whole world of opportunity opens in front of you.
Oh, I think it's about being more proactive about the things I love to do. Really. So getting more proactive about planning the stuff I love.
Activities, hobbies, experiences.
Yes.
The ability to take whatever your goals and principles are and turn those into daily practices. So you see that great learners they're human sponges. They absorb information and then they filter out feedback that's not relevant to them. They love to embrace discomfort and put themselves in challenging situations. And they're willing to tolerate imperfections because mistakes are part of the path to growth.
Don't ask for feedback, ask for advice. What's the difference?
Well, when you ask for feedback, basically people will either applaud your best self, that's the cheerleaders, or they'll attack your worst self, and those are the critics. And neither of those things help you, right? You don't necessarily just want to know what you did right or what you did wrong, you want to know how you can improve. When you say, what's the one thing I can do better? People focus on the future and then they actually become your coaches.
I want to get back to the idea of perfectionism because in this day and age with social media, people that are so
must be doing to be the best.
Yeah, first always frame that as habits. It has to be habits. A lot of people think it's just mindset. Like, mindset is a habit of thought, right? So, it's like, well, it's how you deal with people. That's a habit of interaction. Like, so always just like realize it's a habitual pattern or practice that you're doing. But what separates people is not the habits that everyone wants to talk about in the popular literature or books. It's like, these small habits or atomic habits or automatic habits or, unconscious habits. Those are valuable. Those are very important. But high performance requires deliberate habits. A deliberate habit means you kind of have to force yourself to do it. It's not easy. It's not automatic. It's not tiny. It's like, it's like it's that going the extra mile thing. It's never going to be easy. You're never going to condition it to be automatic. It's like, no, it's the tough work of life to go to another level. You want to be at the top. It's really friggin' hard. It's hard. You have to accept that. And